The Hugo Awards are the equivalent of the Oscars for the science fiction and fantasy community. Win one of these at the National Science Fiction Convention, or Worldcon, this year here in Chengdu in China, and you get to significantly boost not just your profile and prestige, but your book sales too. Professor Nnedi Okorafor was a winner back in 2016, but nowadays her shelf of awards must be buckling under the sheer weight of all the prizes and gongs. A New York Times best-selling author of 20 books, her 21st is out in 2025, and this year it secured $1 million advance deal for the North American rights alone. It's called The African Futurist, which is also how she describes her own genre of writing.
Technology is a solution. It can be a beast. It can be a source of destruction. Technology isn't positive or negative by definition. Technology is neutral. It's really how we use it that decides everything. And for me, I don't know, for me as a writer, the stories that I'm most interested in, that I'm most concerned with, that I think are of greatest value right now are the ones that kind of pull out the positives of technology, especially when it comes to African futures.
So science fiction and science fact, the sort of current innovation and the writing, they do sort of feed off each other. There's a kind of a mutual inspiration, I guess, from both.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's a give and take. It's not that science fiction writers come up with something, then science and scientists create that thing. It's a give and take, because there are a lot of scientists, and scientist is a very general term, I'm using that in a very general way, but scientists are often lovers of science fiction. You know, they're often inspired by science fiction. They often become scientists because of science fiction, and then vice versa as well. So I've always viewed it very much, it's a back and forth, it's a conversation, and that's why it's really important for all of it to be in the same space.
Well, you talked about technology is neutral, and it can be a beast, but it can be a solution as well. I think you've referred to AI as, currently at least, just an aggregator software cloaked in a marketing scheme. So is it all overhyped, or are you sort of saying it's just current, it's going to get better, but for now?
I'm saying, I think both. I think it can get better, it can get worse. It is currently overhyped, but the potential is there.
You're sort of hedging your bets there.
Yeah, I want to be optimistic. I've been optimistic, before AI was unleashed to the world. I was very optimistic. I loved the idea of AI. But then as soon as it was unleashed, I saw immediately what people started using it for, immediately, and I'm like, that is not.
Which is what?
I shouldn't have been surprised.
So what are you referring to there?
Going after creatives.
Right.
You know, using it to potentially replace writers and replace creatives. You know, writers, illustrators, people who make music. I always saw AI as a possible tool. First of all, a tool to enhance humanity, not replace. And so, when it became public, I was really surprised. I shouldn't have been surprised, though.
You said it sort of smacks of hatred. I think you referred to it as
a dislike of creatives, yeah, or a jealousy of creatives, definitely. From what I've seen, you know, the conversations around how AI can be used, it definitely smacks of a dislike of creatives.
So do you think there'll be a Worldcon? I mean, we're sat here in front of it today. Will there, and you're a science fiction writer, do you feel threatened by the prospect of AI churning out science fiction books?
I don't feel threatened at all. AI can't create those things that are from the human heart. They can only create what's already been out there before. You know, so and I know the way that I write and the reason that I write and where it comes from, that's not something that AI can imitate. It's not possible. So I'm not remotely threatened by that, but the churning out of science fiction narratives that people who already like garbage are going to consume. Yeah, I just that part of it bugs me. There will always be a Worldcon. You know, I think that that part, the creative, the true deep creative, stories that come from the heart, there's always going to be a space for that. I do think that there will be change. You know, certain things are going to be It's coming. Let's just put it that way. It's coming.
The positives are coming.
The negatives are coming.
Oh, the negatives are coming.
The negatives are coming, and that's inevitable, and that's okay. Not like the only consistent thing is change. So that's coming, but like there's no replacement for the human experience. But we're gonna also have the AI stuff that people are like. We're gonna have a novel written by AI that's going to be massively popular. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't feel threatened by that as a creator.
It's a certain type of novel.
Yeah.
And what about the direction you do want it to go in then? Because again, going back to that beast and the solution, where is it that would excite you about AI? You think this is what I want it for?
I mean, like AI doing things that human beings can't do. Isn't that the point? I thought that was the point, that we would create these true artificial intelligence. That's what excites me. It's like true artificial intelligence, not these aggregating, programs that are just aggregating materials and spitting something out. That doesn't interest me. But like true artificial intelligence interests me, and also AI being able to find solutions for those things that we as human beings can't, like that we are not intelligent enough to do. That interests me. That fascinates me.
In terms of healthcare.
In terms of healthcare, in terms of climate change.
Right.
In terms of I'm really obsessed about like disabilities and all the various types of things that AI can help with people with various types of disabilities, like all of that. And then that science fiction thing of
So stop getting them to write books and start solving the world's ills.
But also artificially intelligent creatures. I love the concept of those, but just not to be weaponized.
Well, take that. There's obviously a lot of talk about the guardrails around artificial intelligence as well. I think Elon Musk has talked about having a sort of, I don't know if it's global, but it's a referee for overseeing the development of AI. Is that something you think is worthwhile, essential, unnecessary?
Whenever we start talking about guardrails, the first thing that I start thinking about is guardrails for the average person. Those guardrails will not exist for those with enough power and money. That's what's going to so as long as if it exists, if AI that can do all of these things, if that exists, those will be used by those who have the power to use it. And so I don't believe the guardrails will be weaponized. That's really what's going to happen. So I don't buy any of that.
So you're more hopeful of just let it develop and just hope it goes in the right direction, which is presumably, it could be a huge power for good for underrepresented groups, either underrepresented nations, or you talked about disabilities.
Certainly.
For people with disabilities as
Certainly. Well. If we as human beings go do good, view these things as use these things in the way that are positive and useful, yeah. Will that happen? Yeah, exactly. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.